All right, thanks, guys. Minnesota takes on Louisville, 12:15 Eastern tip-off in the Wells Fargo Arena in Iowa. The Cardinals open the betting as the 5.5-point favorite, total at 135. And since those markets opened this one up, we're actually seeing a steady and consistent fade of Louisville in the early going here. We're also seeing movement upward on the total as well. That number moved up to 136 with the spread moving down to -5. So once again, Louisville open 5.5, down to -5. Total open 135, up to 136. 55% are leaning toward Louisville, 53% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, Minnesota's plus 190 on the money line. Now, if you like Louisville in this matchup here, they do rank 5th in the nation from the stripe. They also rank 26th in defensive field goal percentage. We're looking at 40.5% from that category there. Now, Minnesota, on the other side, they rank 253rd in the nation in road scoring. They're scoring just 61 points per contest away from home this year. They're also just 2-9 straight up away from home. Now, total-wise, Minnesota's 3-2 to the over in their last 5. Louisville, 3-1 to the over in their last 4. Give me the Cardinals of Louisville, -5, getting the job done against the spread. And the over 136 in that matchup there. Next game, Yale, LSU, 12:40 Eastern, tip-off in the Jacksonville Veterans Memorial Arena. LSU opened -9, total open 160.5, and we're seeing all kinds of movement in this one. A 2-point fade of the Tigers in the early going here. We also saw a 4-point move downward on the total. That number moved down to 156.5. So once again, LSU open -9, down to -7. Total open 160.5, down to 156 and a hook. 56% is leaning toward Yale. 57% shaded toward the over now. And at the moment, the Bulldogs of Yale are plus 250 on the money line. Now, if you like Yale in this matchup here, you might not be in a bad spot. They rank 20th in scoring, averaging 81 points per contest in that category there. Their offense is also shooting 50% from the field. That's going to put them 6th in the nation in that category there as well. Yale covers 83% of their games, taking on teams over 650. And when it comes to LSU, they're just 3-4 against the spread in their last 7 games played at the current point spread. They also rank 171st in points allowed at 73 a game on average. One more thing to note, LSU is 216th in the country in shooting the 3 ball. And when it comes to the total, LSU 3-2 to the under in their last 5. Yale's 9-7 to the under in their games away from home. Give me Yale +7. Covering the spread in this matchup here might not necessarily mean they win it outright, but I do think they'll cover the 7 points. Once again, Yale +7, under 156.5 in that matchup there. We're going to skip a couple here and take a look at Vermont taking on Florida State. That is a 2 o'clock Eastern tip-off at the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut. Vermont opened the betting as the 11-point favorite, total at 133. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing movement on both the spread and the total in this matchup here. We're actually seeing a 2-point fade of Florida State in the early going here, and a little bit of movement toward the over. Right now we're looking at -9 with the total at 133.5. So once again, Florida State open -11, down to -9. Total open 133, up to 133.5. 51% are leaning toward Florida State. 58% of the consensus is shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Vermont is plus 440 on the money line. Now, if you like Vermont in this matchup here, it's going to be tough sledding for you. I know it seems like a sexy team to pick, a sharp team to pick. You might not be going against the flow as much as you think. Plus, they are taking on a Florida State team who's covering 66% of their games at the current point spread. They're also 9-5 against the number, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. Vermont has failed to cover in 5 out of their last 8. And for me, they just don't pass the eye test, as I was watching them play UMBC a couple days ago, and I don't know. I just Vermont not passing the eye test for me. Certainly going up against a team the caliber of Florida State. But anyway, scoring-wise, FSU just 6 out of 18 games away from home got over the total. So give me the Seminoles -9 and the under 133.5 in that matchup there. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for our round of 64, our opening round here in college basketball, March Madness 2019. Obviously, you know that. That's why you're here. But before we go ahead and move on, I just want to quickly remind you to check out my website. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. We do daily picks on that website. There's also plenty of free content. It's a really fun website. Just interact if you love sports and obviously sports betting. Doing pretty well in several categories on Patreon. Had a good day on our free leans on this channel. Struggled a little bit in NBA, but we went perfect in college basketball, and we went 7-1 in the NHL. So the leans on this channel have been dynamite the past couple of days. But anyway, check out that Patreon page, patreon.com/BrockPage. Once again, that's my website, and link is in the description section below. Go ahead and pause this video right now, open up your browser, and just check me out. It'll only take you a couple of seconds. All right, let's go ahead and move on and get into some more picks. And our next game, very interesting matchup here. I think this is going to move the needle a little bit, probably get a lot of play, a lot of action on it. I just need to locate it. There it is. Belmont taking on Maryland, and that is a 3:10 Eastern tip-off at the Jacksonville Veterans Memorial Arena. That's the game right after Yale LSU. Now, Maryland opened the betting as the 4-point favorite. Not surprised they opened up as the favorite, but they're just -4 with Belmont's scoring power. Maryland opened -4, total open 148. We're seeing a fade of Maryland. Belmont's another one of those. People are intrigued by the name. People are intrigued by, just the unfamiliarity with a team such as Belmont. But anyway, Maryland open -4, total 148. We're seeing a slight fade of Maryland when it comes to the spread. We're seeing movement downward on the total as well. Maryland's down -3, total move down to 147.5. So once again, the Terrapins open -4, down to -3, total open 148, down to 147.5. 56% are leaning Belmont, 60% shaded toward the over. Right now, Belmont's +135 on the money line. Now, if you like Belmont in this matchup here, they are 201st in road defensive rebounding. That's not good. Ranking 201st in the nation in road defensive rebounding. Just can't get a rebound. They also cover just 40% of their games, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. Meanwhile, Maryland on the other side, well, they rank 17th in offensive rebounding, 9th in defensive rebounding, and they are 22-10 straight up overall. You better bring the wood because these guys are physical under the net. Now, total-wise, Maryland is 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Belmont 4-0 to the under in their last 4. Give me Maryland -3 and the under 147.5 in that matchup there. Next game, another intriguing one. We're talking about Murray State taking on Marquette, 4:30 Eastern tip-off at the XL Center. This is going to be one of those games where could really mess up a lot of brackets right out of the gate. Marquette open -4, total 150. And since those markets open this one up, we're seeing a slight fade of Marquette when it comes to the spread. We're also seeing movement downward on the total as well. 3.5, 149 and a hook. So once again, the Golden Eagles of Marquette open -4, down to -3.5. Total open 150, down to -149 and a hook. 56% are leaning toward Murray State, 60% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Racers of Murray State are +145 on the money line. Now, Murray State is on an 11-game winning streak. They're 11-0 straight up in their last 11 ball games. They rank 9th in the country in scoring. They also rank 9th in field goal percentage. They're shooting 50% from the field. Very good out of them. Now, Marquette on the other side, man, what a way to end the year. dropping 5 out of their last 6. They're also just 1-5 against the spread in those 6 ball games. They've covered just 5 out of their last 13, taking on teams over 650. So when taking on good teams, man, they just they don't get the job done against the number. Now, total-wise, Marquette's just 28% to the over in their games at the current posted total. Murray State 0-2 to the over in their couple of games in that same category. Give me Murray State plus 3.5 covering the spread. They might not win outright, but I like them covering the spread, and actually I do like them winning outright. Give me Murray State, the Racers, plus 3.5 in the under 149 and a hook in that matchup there. All right, we're at the home stretch. Couple more games to take a look at, and this is another one, man. What a great game. March Madness is awesome. Just a great lineup, great matchups on paper, and this is another one I'm looking forward to. Florida taking on Nevada. That is a 6:50 Eastern tip-off at the Wells Fargo Arena in Iowa. It's not the Wells Fargo Center in Philly. It's the Wells Fargo Arena in Iowa. But anyway, flip of the lines in this one. Gotta love when that happens. Nevada opened the betting as the 1.5-point dog, total at 132 and a hook. And since those markets opened this one up, line flipped. Nevada's now the favorite. They're now minus 2.5. Total moved up to 133 and a hook. So once again, Nevada opened plus 1.5, now minus 2.5. Total open 132 and a hook, up to 133 and a half. 52% of the consensus is leaning toward Nevada. 63% shaded toward the over. Right now, the University of Florida, the Gators, are plus 115 on the money line. Now, the Gators rank 220th in scoring. They're averaging just 68 points per contest in that category there. Florida also ranks 207th in the country in offensive field goal percentage and 214th in offensive rebounding. Ugh. Now, Nevada, on the other side, completely different story. They're averaging 81 points per contest. They're also 29-4 straight up overall for the year and 7-3 straight up in their last 10. Now, when it comes to the scoring, Nevada is 4-2 to the over in their last 6. Give me Nevada. Give me the pack minus 2.5 in the over 133 and a hook in that matchup there. Next game, St. Mary's at Villanova. It's not at Villanova. They're taking on Villanova at the XL Center. 7:20 tip-off there. Villanova opened 5.5. Total open 129. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing movement upward on the total, but downward on the spread. We're seeing a 1-point fade of Villanova in the tournament. Wow. Villanova is now 4.5. Total 130. So once again, Villanova open minus 5.5, down to minus 4.5, total open 129, up to 130. Villanova is taking 53% of the consensus action right now, and at the moment, 52% of the consensus is leaning toward the under. Right now, the Gales, the girls, Gales, the Gales of St. Mary's, plus 175 for some money line cash. I never looked it up. What is a Gale? What is a St. Mary's Gale? I don't know. I thought it was like a girl, but saying it with an accent, like Gale. See those gals over there. But anyway, St. Mary's, they rank 164th in offensive rebounding. They also rank 135th in defensive field goal percentage. Both of those are not good. They've also failed to cover in 6 out of their last 10 games. Now, Villanova on the other side, well, they're giving up just 67 points per contest on average. They're also covering 60% of their games, taking on teams over 650. Villanova's also covering a solid 67% of their games, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. When it comes to the scoring, Villanova's 4-0 to the over in their last 4. St. Mary's 4-3 to the over when the line was 132 or less. So with all that in mind, no need to buy the hook here because we're on Hook Watch and we haven't bought a hook in almost 2 weeks. So we're going to leave it out there. Give me Nova minus 4.5 and the over 130 in that matchup there. Next game. Sorry guys, we're skipping some games. I have no interest in them, and the lines on them are just like absurd. Like Gonzaga was favored by 27. I don't want to cap that because I'm scared. So instead of addressing it and taking a pass or doing like some weird first quarter prop, I'm just going to skip it altogether. All right, next game, ODU, Purdue. That's Old Dominion taking on Purdue. 9:50 Eastern tip-off at the XL Center. Purdue opened the betting as the 13-point favorite. No surprises there. Total open 129. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing movement downward on both the spread and the total. Purdue's now 12.5. Total moved down to 127. So once again, Purdue opened 13, down to minus 12.5. Total open 129, down to 127. 61% of the consensus is leaning toward ODU. 51% shaded toward the over. Right now, Old Dominion is plus 715 for an outright win. If you like ODU in the spot here, I mean, they could do it. They're 8-2 straight up in their last 10. They rank 6th in the country in points allowed. They're giving up just 60 points per contest. Very stingy on the defensive side of things. And on the other side, this Purdue defense, well, their opponents are shooting 45% from the field. That puts Purdue at 125th in that category there. They've also failed to cover in 6 out of their last 9, and they're favored by double digits here. So pretty tough spot for Purdue backers. You might be sweating this one out. Now, total-wise, Purdue's 3-1 to the over in their last 4. I like ODU plus 12.5, getting the job done against the number, and the over 127 in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for the show. It is going to be Baylor, Syracuse, 9:57. Not 10 o'clock. 9:57 Eastern Standard Time at the Vivint Smart Home Arena in Utah. Now, Syracuse open -2, total 134. We're seeing steady movement in this game. A lot of movement toward the under. A 4-point move to the under, as a matter of fact. That line moved down to 130. Syracuse is now down to -1.5. So once again, the orange open -2, down to -1.5. Total open 134, down to 130. 59% are leaning Syracuse, 58% shaded toward the under. Right now, Baylor's plus 105 on the money line. Now, if you like Baylor in this matchup here, they rank 154th in the country in scoring. They also rank 156th in offensive field goal percentage. We're looking at 44% in that category there. Even equally as bad, Baylor is 139th in defending the 3-ball. They're 0-4 straight up in their last 4, a little 4-game skid for them, and they failed to cover in 8 out of their last 10 games. And on a side note, Baylor is covering just 25% of their games, taking on teams between 500 and 650, and that's a win percentage I'm referring to, by the way. Now, total-wise, Baylor 64% to the over on the road, 10-4 to the over, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. Syracuse 3-1 to the over in their last 4. Give me the orange of Syracuse. Jimmy Boeheim, -1.5 in the over, 130 in that matchup there. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. But before I get out of here, just want to quickly remind you once again to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. A lot of fun stuff on that site. We have a bunch of different membership packages you could subscribe to. And if you don't feel like subscribing, no harm, no foul. I'm glad you're with me here today. We have plenty of free content on that Patreon page. And as always, we have free content here on my YouTube channel. But once again, please feel free to just hit that pause button or finish the video, open up your browser, and just quickly type in patreon.com/BrockPage, or you can just click the link in the description section below. It'll take you right there. And of course, if you're a current patron of mine, I certainly appreciate your friendship. It's great getting to know each and every one of you, and you guys definitely make it all worth it. All right, most importantly, I just want to thank you for watching today's program. Best of luck in your brackets, and if you have action in today's games, best of luck to you. Hope you do an excellent job, and as always, don't forget to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage.